Well, hello, friends. I'm David Voth. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. It's really nice here in Texas today. It's beautiful weather. Well, I just went to town and went through Whataburger. I got to tell you about this. This is crazy. So I pull up through the drive-through window area. There's a big sign with a menu, of course. And you stop there at the menu, and the woman, normally they say, hello, how are you? I'll take your order when you're ready. But she says, hi, can I get you a mushroom bacon cheddar burger or something? Something like that. I said, oh, no, thank you. And actually, I was thinking, no, I'd like to choose what I want to eat myself, In fact, probably if you're pushing that particular burger, then it's probably not going to be a good deal anyway, because you're probably hiking the price up or something, and that's why you're promoting it or something, or you've got a bunch of them all made up in the back and they're just running them through. I don't know, but of course I wouldn't order that now, even if I wanted it. But anyway, so I said, no, just a minute, let me look at the menu. So finally I decided what I wanted, and I said, okay, I'll have this and this and that. And she said, okay, and would you like a bacon and cheddar burger? And I'm like, excuse me? No, I want what I told you. Not a bacon cheddar burger. I want what I told you. And she's like, oh, no problem. I just wondered if you'd like an extra bacon and cheddar burger. So I thought, man, that's crazy. Why are they trying to push? I just don't really understand that. Some people want this or some people want that. Why would you promote food? I know when I was a young man, I used to work at a restaurant in California. It was called Perco's, I think. Denny's does the same thing, but the waitress is required to ask the people if they'd like dessert, and they're supposed to put a big menu of a dessert on the table, right, to kind of entice you, because I was told by Denny's management that they make more money. I was told by Perkins this same thing, and Perco's. There's two different restaurants. I actually worked at both Perco's and Perkins back in the day. And both of them would try to push desserts on you. And they always told me that they made more money off the dessert menu. Because a cake might have cost them $1 or $2. And they were selling each slice of cake for $5 or $6. And so as much of that as they could promote, or milkshakes or whatever. So restaurants like IHOP, they make a lot of money because it's just all fluff. They're selling you pancakes with a little drizzle or sugar on top, and they're selling it for the price of a steak. But the point I'm trying to make is that we live in a strange society. It used to be when I was a young man, things were completely different. There were certain things that was etiquette. A waiter came to your table, they asked you what you would like. There were certain ways that they handled things. They never tried to pressure you to upgrade or get a better meal, or kept coming back and asking you want dessert or more drinks or because a lot of restaurants I know, Chili's or Applebee's or whatever, will try to get you to buy a drink. So they'll charge you $5 or $6 for a beer. So they're only paying 50 cents for that beer, and they're charging you $5. So this is how marketing is changing our life, our etiquette, our way of life, everything about us. We can't even decide for ourselves. We're on Google and we're trying to talk to our friends on Facebook or something, and there's this advertisement trying to sell us something. They even know where you've been that day. I watched a video yesterday where they were showing that if you buy a phone and you put it on airplane mode or shut it off and take the SIM card out, they still can track you everywhere you go. That phone is tracking your every move. Literally, every 5 seconds there's a signal going back, and they know exactly where you are at all times. And evidently they know what you purchased. I don't know how they do this, but they pretty much know everything you purchased or you're looking at. I remember going on eBay and looking at some things, and then I went to Facebook, and boop, they were trying to get me to buy what I was looking at earlier on eBay. They were trying to get me to buy that on Facebook. So that means that Facebook and eBay and YouTube and Google, all these organizations. They're all one big mega company. Amazon, you were trying to buy something on Amazon, boop, they got it on your Facebook. So they know everywhere you've been, everything you're doing, and the entire name of the game is how much money can they get out of you. And so, I'm not so sure I'm worried about them tracking everything we do and knowing everything that we buy and everything that we see. But what I am worried about is the fact that we're not human beings anymore. See, if you're on a diet, it's going to be pretty hard. You go into a restaurant and somebody's standing there demanding that you order a bunch of carbs and some cake. They're pressuring you. Everywhere you look, the commercials are pressuring you. You go to the doctor and they're pressuring you to take some kind of pills. And you know that doctor doesn't know. He's not the one that did the studies on those pills to see if they're safe. And he knows that they're not safe because the lawyers come on every 5 minutes on television telling you that these pills have been hurting people, killing people, and they've had to take them off the market. Almost every one of these pills go on the market. They're on there for a year or two, and then they take them off. And then they use that same pill for something else. But after it's killed several people, they'll end up taking it off for that particular use, and somehow or another they got this game where they use that same pill for something else. This is true of everything. I was told that margarine started off as somebody was trying to invent some kind of new kind of plastic. He was trying to develop a plastic that was stronger than any other substance that ever made. They ended up doing it. This is some of the plastics that we have now that we're using. But in the process of developing that plastic, they came up with margarine. So it's like one molecule off of plastic. That's what margarine is. But now they discovered that it tasted like butter and it spread real well, and so it looked like butter. So they said, hey, let's sell it for a food. It's not good for you. It's like eating plastic, literally. It's causing plaque in your body. It's going to kill you. But they don't care. They're marketing it to you. See, they know that they can get young children, 13 and up, to go to these slasher-up killer movies, these horror flicks that, where they're slashing people's throats and having sex at the same time and doing all this stuff that any psychologist would say would be very bad for your children. But they know that they can get the kids in. So they lobby Congress to keep moving the ages down lower and lower. Well, of course, they're making money off the young people, but, they're making money off all of us. None of us should be watching stuff like that. Who in the world would be coming up with movies like that? Most grown-ups probably don't want to watch stuff like that. It takes an adolescent mind. Let's do something we're not supposed to do. That's going to be fun. Or it's just literally sick. And you see, that's the other part of this that's bothering me. Some of this isn't just marketing. Some of this is intentional brainwashing of the masses. Some of this is literally trying to get you sick. Right? They're encouraging restaurants to do this. They don't make laws against this. Oh, they make laws against seatbelts because that way they can stop you and, and make you pay a fine. They need that money. But they don't make laws against restaurants forcing you and pressuring you to eat high-calorie cakes and sugars and poisons. They don't make laws against that because they would lose money, and I think people would get healthier. And they don't want people to get healthier. See, that's one of the things that I don't like Republicans doing. Some of the things that, I agree with Republicans and some of the things they say, and there's some things that I tend to agree with some of the Democrats on. This is one of those things. I think Michelle Obama was absolutely correct. I think the schools should serve food that is healthy for the young people. I don't think we should be allowing the young kids to decide what they're going to eat. I don't think we should allow the teenagers in high school to decide what they're going to eat, really. I think if you're going to have a big school where everybody's filing in a cafeteria, we should actually have something there that's healthy for you. I don't think we should encourage people to eat unhealthy. Now, if you're a teenager and you can drive off campus to go get some McDonald's, that's their prerogative. I understand. I don't believe in forcing people. But the problem is we live in a world where everything is lies. And like I said, some of it's marketing, but a lot of this is to try and destroy us. And this is a big problem because it's not just food. Friends, it's the same thing with religion. It's the same thing. You go to your church and they're like, oh, we've got all the truth, don't we? You can just imagine, back in the days of Jesus, they're all standing out the Mount of Olives, and you got all these people milling around, pushing and shoving, trying to see the Lord, right? And he's like, I can't see him. There's got a big olive tree in the way, and I can't really see the Lord. What's he saying? I can't hear a bloody word he's saying. Love thy bloody neighbour. Always be kind to your neighbour. Never raise your voice. Well, that's a little embarrassing, isn't it? That's it. All he's saying is love one another. You've got to give us more than that. What? You've got to tell us what to do. Is it legal to murder? You've got to let us know, because we wouldn't know any of this if you didn't tell us. Or is it all right if you take your neighbour's cloak? There's got to be rules, isn't it? Wouldn't that be easier? I can't remember all this. Well, you've got to write it down. All right, so it's just love thy neighbour. Is that it? Just love thy neighbour? And that's all we've got to do? Well, I've never heard of such a thing. I think this bloke's crazy. I prefer Moses. At least he tells us what to do. Jesus, shall we rest on Saturday or Sunday? Sunday's really the first day of the week. Moses said to rest on the seventh day of the week. And you're saying we shouldn't rest at all? Are you saying we should just run around and do what we like every day? Is that it? Or are you saying that we're not supposed to rest at all? That's what I think. I think we should just be told everything we should do and not think for ourselves. Follow the Holy Spirit. Anyway, yeah, I mean, people can't understand that we do need to follow our own spirit, because we are humans and we were given the ability to make our own decisions and to be individuals, and nobody's the same. We're all different. Politics is getting this way, and they're sucking our minds right out down the tube. This is crazy. Why are you a Democrat? Why are you a Republican? You got to ask yourself, why are you anything? Why do you have a tattoo? Oh, I like my tattoo. It's something I want. It's something I decided. All right? Why is it, if you decided to get that tattoo, why is it that almost everybody else decided the same thing? Isn't it peer pressure? You say, well, I want to be different. No, you're being the same. See, they come up with some fashion or new fad, and you got to do it. Right? Everybody says that type of dress for spring is what you wear, and this kind of socks, and those kind of shoes, and this kind of shirt. Right? You go to church, you got to wear a suit and tie, because they say so. You're being forced to do it by peer pressure. You say, well, I don't care, I like it. Well, you grow to like it because you conform. Do you want to be conformed to this world? Do you want people constantly telling you how to act, what to do? See, that's what's happening when you say, well, I'm a Democrat. Let's say you're black and you vote all Democrat all the time. You say, well, that's because they cater to the black people, and they're for, minorities, and they give us rights and, help us with financial issues and so forth. No, listen. Think about it. In all these years you've been a Democrat, what have they done for you? They rejected the legislation that would have helped the Dreamers. President Trump was giving 2 million Dreamers the right to live in this country scot-free. But they rejected it because they don't want to help the Dreamers, and they don't want to help you. They just want to have it as an issue. They just want you to think they're fighting for you. And so it's peer pressure. They want you to vote for them because they're a Democrat. If you could just look at Hillary Clinton with your own two eyes and think about it with your own mind, you'd say, this woman is a crook. She works for the banks. I don't want nothing to do with that. You say, oh, yeah, but she thinks that women should be able to have an abortion when they want to. So that's why I'm going to vote for her. Really? You somehow in your mind have convinced yourself that that's a moral argument, that somehow or another it should be a woman's right to have an abortion. See, you've convinced yourself that that's your own idea. It's not even your idea. You would never even come up with such a thing. Can you imagine if you're at the house and, you got a girlfriend and she gets pregnant and she says, yeah, I think I'm going to kill my baby. I don't think you'd be like, oh, yeah, I think you should have that right. No, they're messing with your mind. They've made you believe those are your thoughts, and they're not. See, that's what they're doing now to these young children. This is the problem. This is going deep. We've got school shootings that probably are not even actual. They're just false flags. We don't know who's perpetuating these things. We know that there's some things that they just doesn't match up. There's not making sense. They won't give us the information as to what happened in Las Vegas, how many shooters, where he was in the building, whether there was police there on the scene or any of that stuff. They're not telling us because they're hiding something. Or this shooting in Florida. They're not telling us why they were told to stand down and none of the officers went inside. Something's going on. And you see, there somehow or another, nobody is coming out on television and saying, look, this may be a false flag. Because they're being pressured. They're like, well, if you say anything like that, we're going to laugh at you. You'll never have a job in this town ever again. So you better be very secure in your ways. That's why I like Donald Trump, because he's so secure. He's willing to say anything he feels in his own heart. He's willing to say it and not worry about whether or not they're going to boycott him or be mad at him. See, I would prefer to have somebody who's a real person. I meet people all the time, friends of mine, who say, I believe in this weird thing or that weird thing. And I may disagree. I may say, I don't believe the earth is flat, but you have that right to believe in that. See, but some people say, I believe the earth is flat because I'm thinking for myself. Well, maybe, but on the other hand, I believe they're pressuring you to think that way. They're coming out with these weird theories all over the internet, and that's another issue to me. I feel like there's also another sort of promotion going on Facebook and YouTube. We've all thought that they're trying to keep people like Alex Jones down, and they're trying to stop me from saying what I want to say, and you know, conservatives are being discredited, and they're taking their channels down. But you know something? There's something else going on. In some ways, I believe they're actually promoting Alex Jones. And in some ways, even my own videos at times. Yes, when I say something that is real and they don't want people to know, they will take that video down. But they don't want to take my channel down. They don't want to take Alex Jones down because they want controversy. It sells. There's an actual algorithm. Yeah, I found out about this a few days ago or a couple of weeks ago. There's an actual algorithm of what videos on YouTube sell the most. And if there's a video that says the world's coming to an end tomorrow, that sells more. So they will actually promote that video. If there's a video that comes out and says that, contrary to all the other Christians, you know, who believe that the God of the Old Testament is the true God, but I'm saying he's not the true God, they like that. It's controversy. It sells videos, evidently. Or, well, I don't know if that particular teaching sells videos, as I'm not sure it really has sold more videos than, say, another channel and their ideas. But some of the stuff that I say is controversial, and so some of the stuff that I do, they like. I'm being perfectly honest with you. Some of the stuff that I put out on YouTube, they like it, and they probably do promote it. They don't want to lose me. The other day, they took a video down and gave me a strike. I wrote them a letter and said, you better put that back or I'm going to sue you. I'm going to take you to court. I got a prompt letter back. They apologized. They took the strike off, and they treated me like gold. And they said, if there's anything else they can do for me, please just let them know. And I'm like, what? See, they didn't like that video. That's why they took it down. Because it said something they didn't like. But on the other hand, they didn't want to piss me off because they make a lot of money off of me. Because there's a lot of controversy on my videos. And people will argue back and forth. You know, some videos, they'll watch the video and they don't say anything. They don't make a comment. But there's a lot of people that comment on my videos because they have thoughts on the subject. It stirs up opinions and ideas. And so people spend a lot more time watching other people's videos just because they were watching mine. When you watch one of my videos, sometimes it prompts you to go searching, and you'll end up going and watching a whole bunch of other people's videos. So they like my channel in some ways. But that doesn't mean that they're not trying to take some of my videos down, and it doesn't mean that they are mad at me at times and they don't like some of the things that I say. They don't like some of the things that Alex Jones says. But on some level, I think they like the fact that there's a feud going on between Alex Jones and YouTube. And somehow or another, I think that that controversy is actually good for YouTube and Alex Jones. But now, I don't want to be misunderstood. I love Alex Jones. I really think Alex Jones is one smart guy. I think he's a really, really smart guy, and I think most of the stuff he's talking about is true. All this conspiracies and things that he's talking about with politics and so forth, I agree with what he says, although I don't watch him very often. I mean, I've seen a few of his videos, not very much. But I like him. I like Mark Dice. I like some of these other guys that are on YouTube. I think they're great. But I actually think the people that are being thrown off YouTube aren't the controversial people. I think it's more the people who can't get an audience. I think they're more interested in making money, if you want to be truthful about it. Yes, there is some sort of a push to try and stop us from saying good things about Trump. That's true. But some of the other stuff that I do, like on religion and other issues, they actually like it. But what I'm trying to get at is that they're messing with our mind. You don't know whether you're coming or going when it comes to this world. I mean, some of you out there are constantly saying that, oh, Alex Jones is part of the elite and they like him, and you got to realize that that's not true. Alex Jones is a decent, if you just watch him for a while, you'll see he's sincere. His feelings are sincere. And I really think that Alex Jones is so sincere that he would probably take a cut in pay and continue doing what he's doing. I don't think he'll back down. I think he's a true patriot. So, but this video is not about Alex Jones, but I do like Alex Jones. And I think a lot of people on YouTube are sincere. But there's just so many things going on. I heard yesterday that, I think it was Bloomberg, there in New York, he's got millions of dollars. He's actually financing these children going out and protesting, holding up signs that are against guns. Now listen, if you're a young person and you're listening to this video, I want you to think about this. Is it really your opinion we ought to take away the Second Amendment? I know you're a young person and you don't have to have an opinion on this because, you know, we develop opinions as we get older. But once you get out of high school, you'll be able to vote, so you've got to start thinking about what you believe. Would you want to believe what other people tell you to believe, or would you like to think for yourself? If you get back, you people in high school or in college or university, and you look at the curriculum and the way that the liberal teachers and professors are trying to skew your mind and thinking, shouldn't that make you leery of the conclusions that they're trying to draw for you? Shouldn't that make you want to think for yourself and rethink the whole thing? You know, when I was young, people in high school wanted to be rebellious. We wanted to do our own thing. We didn't like it when the grown-ups told us what to do. So, you see, here's another one of those things that's bothering me. You've got people that's got millions of dollars like George Soros and Bloomberg and these other guys that are using this little thing inside you that, you know, instinctually young people want to go fend for themselves and, you know, leave the nest and do their own thing, and they get mad at mom and dad. Oh, mom and dad is stupid. And so they're using that against you. And they're saying, yeah, let's rebel. Let's rebel against the system. Yeah, we don't need that darn Constitution. Yeah, let's go be liberals. And yeah, we should have the right to kill our own babies. And we should have the right to burn down the city and riot. And stop and think about who this is good for. What the stuff that they're trying to get you to do. They're dragging you all out in the streets, and you know, you're supposed to be protesting guns and the Second Amendment. You're being used. All of society is now being used. You've got the minorities that think they've got to be a Democrat because they are bowing to this peer pressure. They're being forced how to think. They're being told how to think. You're watching CNN night and day, and they're manipulating your mind. They're trying to make you believe that all white people are against you. That this government is just heterosexual white people sitting around a table trying to find ways to kill all the minorities or hurt them. And it's ridiculous. There's more minorities in the government than there are white old men anymore. And it seems like all the white people, like Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton and Schumer and all these white people, they're the ones that's on your side. They're Democrats. They're the ones, these white people, these cranky old white people, they're the ones pushing your agenda. Or at least, that's the agenda that you believe you want to push. Abortion, the dreamers, and all of these issues that, women's rights, they should be able to be men now, and men should be women, and women should be able to marry women, and men should be able to marry men, and this kind of thing. We should take all the money from the rich and give it to the poor. All of that, that's being sponsored by the white folks, the older white folks. Many of them are on the Democratic side. But you've got a whole bunch of people on the Democratic side that's in the minority camp. And there's a lot of minorities on the right side as well. There's just a lot of minorities in government. Right? You got Maxine Waters, and you had a black president. They're all minorities. Or made you believe that the whole country is being run by some cranky old conservative white men. John McCain's a liberal. He's running the show. You had Barack Obama for 8 years, and he put all the people in that he wanted. But you see, it's just all backwards and upside down. California and New York and all of these countries and Massachusetts, these are the biggest states, and they're all completely run by liberals, and they're running their states into the ground. You believe it because, you see, life is tough, and you don't have enough money, and it's hard to make ends meet. You're not always happy, so you got to blame somebody. And then the television, you turn the CNN on, and they're saying, oh, well, blame these white guys. It's got to be them. Remember, Columbus came over here and started killing the American Indians? See, it's always the white people. Well, some of it's true, some of it's not true. It was also a bunch of white people that gave you the Constitution and that ended slavery in this country, right? It was a bunch of white people in the North that fought the Civil War and gave us our rights so that we couldn't be bought and sold and become a slave. Democratic Party has been the party of slave owners for a long, long time. Hillary Clinton's white, if you didn't notice. Bill Clinton is as white as they come, right? So, it's just a bunch of mind manipulation. Most of us don't even know what to believe anymore. I mean, think about this. This is happening with everything. What you eat, you'll buy certain products because it's cool, right? Oh, let's go get this organic drink. It's $5 for about 3 ounces, because somehow that's going to change our health and everything. But all the cool people are drinking this green slime drink, right? That we can't stand, but everybody's saying it's cool. Now it's cool to be vegetarian. So everybody's doing it. Friends, you should do things based on the merit, based on your own thinking. Don't be kowtowed. Don't start going along with the fads. Fads change every year. Every year they change. In the 70s, you had sideburns down, past your earlobe. There was a time when you had to have a long mustache that curled and you waxed it. We don't do that anymore. But that was cool in the day. See, and now everybody's got to have a tattoo on their arm or somewhere, or a hole in their nose, or a piece of metal in their tongue, or you've got to be a Democrat, or you've got to be a Republican, or you've got to hate Trump, or you've got to love Hillary, or you've got to do something that they tell you to do. You've got to eat this kind of food, right? It's hip to go to McDonald's because this commercial says I'm loving it. You see, you've got to go to Burger King because you can have it your way at Burger King. But guess what? At Whataburger now, they want you to have it their way. And see, that's the truth. It's not really you can have it your way. That's not really true. I mean, you could always have it your way if you're just talking about tomatoes and pickles. Order the sandwich and throw the tomato off and have it your way. Yeah. But do you really have a choice? There's like 5 things on the menu. You order one or the other, right? And then when you pull in, they're trying to tell you what to buy. So, we're really not having it our way. We go to Walmart, and the options are getting very, very poor. When I was a kid, you could go to virtually any market in the world. Walk in and you could buy wheat, white, sourdough, or rye, or pumpernickel, or you had all these different varieties of bread. At Walmart now, unless you go to a kind of a specialized Walmart, most of the Walmarts only have white and wheat. And for a while they didn't have sourdough. They brought that back. There's like one brand or variety of sourdough now. But once in a while, some Walmarts you can get rye, but there's not a lot of variety. And the only way you can get organic at a Walmart is if you're next to a big area where there's a Smith's or a Albertsons down the road, and they've got to compete. So then they'll add some organic food in there. It's all about money. They're not really trying to do it your way. They're not really trying to give you options. You know, you got this huge store, this big store. It covers a whole 4 blocks. The parking lot looks like an ocean, right? You think you could go in there, Sam's Club or something. You think you could go in there and get anything you want. But no, there's fewer options today than there used to be. When my mother used to go down to the local Safeway at the end of the street, it was a real small little store, and she could just pretty much buy anything she wanted. See, they catered to us. And when you went through the line, they counted your change back. That was $3.95, and you handed me a 5. So this is a nickel, that makes 4, and here's $1, and that makes 5. Thank you. Can I carry it to the car? Now they're like, you know what? We're going to actually hire somebody to stand in the aisle and look at you and do nothing and basically coach you to kind of come on over to this other lane and do it yourself. We're going to hire somebody so that you can do it yourself. And that person's just going to stand in the aisle and say, hello, how are you? Hello, how are you? Can I see your receipt? Bye-bye. They want you to do it yourself. And we're quickly going to automation. And like Amazon, you're going to buy online. I don't know where our cities are going to go, but it is not about doing it your way. It is more about doing it their way and how much money they can make. And it's gone into every aspect of our lives, into our medical attention. You don't know if the drugs they're giving you or the medical treatments that they're giving you is actually going to be good for you, or whether it's just another way for them to make $1. And I guarantee, friends, it's probably just another way for them to make not only $1, but even perhaps hundreds and hundreds of dollars more than what they should be making. Because they've got you fooled. They've got you hoodwinked to believe that you've got to do everything they say. For instance, looking at this deal where you get this vacation, and they had these different packages. You could get the first package for $599. And that included everything you needed. The trip, the lodging, and everything. 2 nights, right, in their motel, and you get free dinner and everything. You say, well, that sounds good. Well, wait a minute. What's this other package over here? Oh, for $6.99. See, they're going to give you a smile while they do it. See, if you want to upgrade and get that extra smile and a little rose lapel. Or you can get the deluxe package, which is $8.99. You're like, okay, I wonder what that's going to be, right? Oh, well, they're going to come to your hotel room, and, you know, they got a limousine. They're going to take you over to the restaurant in the limousine, right? For an extra, what, $300? Doesn't sound really worth it, but that's their deluxe. Well, there's going to be more than that. Of course, they'll give you an extra rose and maybe a kiss on the cheek or something. But then, of course, you've got the deluxe, super deluxe version, and it's like $12.99. Still, all you're getting is 2 nights in a motel, and you're spending $1,299, you know, in a meal. But they're going to give you pictures and a photo option. You say, well, that's worth it, right? All these photos? No, because actually all they're going to do is it's going to be digital photos. And they only give you 1 photo for free. They take all the pictures, see? And then they give you 1 photo. And you're going to go, oh, great. Well, what about all those other photos that you took? And you're like, well, you can buy those for extra. So you see, it's not about you. It is not, you know, it used to be when I was a young man, if they had a deal for $4.99 and they wanted you to upgrade to a $5.99, you actually got double what you were supposed to get for the extra 100 or something. You know, you got a deal. Nowadays, it's not a deal. It's just a promotion. It's just a pressure to try and get you to upgrade, to give them more money. It's not worth the upgrade. It never is. There's always better ways, but they're just there to suck you dry. So anyway, friends, I think I'm going to go ahead and leave it there. I'm on my way home now. I'm going to go ahead and go, and I hope you guys have a great day. We'll see you again tomorrow. Have a good one.